All right, ladies and gentlemen, another episode of Hot Pudge IG Live with your host, Pudge Fernandez. Episode 61, in case you're keeping track. Really quick, FYI, this is season 3. We're officially in our season 3 final season. Only a few more episodes left, and then I'm out of here, hopefully to do a podcast. So bigger and better things. And also, real quick plug. My website is up, pudgefernandez.com, pudgefernandez.com. Everything that is Pudge is there. I got bio, got celebrity pictures, even got some videos. For those of you who are wondering if I'm funny or not, check it out, pudgefernandez.com. I got some videos. Definitely, hey, hit me up, let me know, and don't forget to subscribe my YouTube channel, Hot Pudge Sunday. With that said, let's get it going. Comedian. No, god damn, when did I meet him? He's one of the old school cats I know from day one. Comedy, like at least 10, 12 years. He ran the Beauty Bar comedy show in Manhattan. And let's see if is he on? There he is.
What's up, baby?
Troy Allen, guys, ladies and gentlemen. What's up, man?
Not much. How you doing?
Good. Where are you at? Where live from where? Where are you from?
Hold on a second. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you, dog. I got you.
Can't. You're breaking up.
Oh. I hear you. I was hearing you loud and clear.
Okay, yeah, my headphones are starting to give out on me. What's up, man? How you doing?
Good. Tired. Just walked in the door myself. I know you're running around somewhere. You're not in New York, correct?
No, I'm in New Hope, Pennsylvania, man. I came out with a lady friend, and we want to do a couple of days. She's back from Bulgaria. She's got to go back the 18th, so we came out here for a few days. And if you haven't been, dude, this place is amazing.
Really?
Yeah, it's small town America done the way we like small towns in America. Great little main street with mom and pop shops, a candy store, great bars. You know, you go across the river, you're in Lambertville, which I don't know the difference, but that's a nice little area, nice restaurants. It's great. We're a place. They have this place called the Fox and the Hound bed and breakfast.
Oh, like the Disney movie?
Yeah, that might be what they named it after. I don't know, but I'm sitting out on the porch.
It's so Fox and the Hound, Pennsylvania, so romantic. You are so romantic.
Isn't that nice? It's very special. It's very special out here.
It must be great leaving New York, because it's like you said, it's peaceful, old school, America, classic. I myself should be going on a road trip at the end of the month. I'm going to Texas. So
oh, nice.
Nothing says America like Texas.
But yeah, you'll still find some towns like this in Texas, though. I mean, that's one of the beauty of small town America is that it's like there's this everywhere, these pockets, and this is kind of a liberal place too. I mean, there's a fair share of Trump stickers flying around here, but they're not quite as proud as they were a few months ago. And, largely, I mean, the first business we went in was owned by a lesbian couple. And the recommendation I got was from my roommate who's gay. So I was like, okay, I'm all right going out there if,
Yeah,
my gay roommate.
I'm heading to Texas, and somebody said, ooh, this is Trump land. And I'm like, you know what? If they're regular Republicans, that's totally cool. I like a good Republican. I like a good old-fashioned Democrat. Keep it simple, and we can talk, we can go back and forth and compare notes and shit like the good old days, and then have a beer or what have you. It's the extremists in both directions that drive me fucking nuts. It's like do or die, and it is what it is, and he's the greatest president ever. I'm like, okay, I kind of prefer Kennedy. He kind of stopped the nuclear world war, but hey, call me crazy.
Yeah, I like presidents who don't organize an attack on the capital of the country that they run. I'm weird that way.
Yeah, it's the little things. It's
the details that really matter these days.
It's the little nuances.
Yeah, man. So what's in Texas? What are you going out there for?
Actually, a comication. Like a vacation, but comedy. Comication. You like that? I just made it up. Comication.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah. I tend to do comedy when I go on vacation. I look for spots to get up, which is just the opposite of vacation, but exactly what we expect from the people in our business.
Yeah, I did that. I tried to do that a few years ago when we went to Disney with the kids, and my wife was like, "No, she wasn't having it. No open. No, you're not going to an open mic and Disneyland, okay?" And I found some. I found them because we can find them.
Well, there's a show out here Friday night. We're not going to be here for it, but it's Comedians of Manhattan. One of them is Corey Kahaney, John Lavarone.
Okay.
And then DF Sweedler. You know DF from the Strip.
Gotcha. Yeah. No, yeah. There's comedy everywhere, and there seems to be an explosion in Austin, Texas, that I want to check out.
Well, you're gonna. Oh, is that where you're going?
That's one of the cities. I'm going to be there maybe 2, 3, 4 weeks. I'm going to hit Dallas, San Antonio, Austin, a couple of towns in between. I'm going to go back to my stomping grounds in Killeen, Texas. That's where I lived when I was in the Army, Fort Hood, which is right out there. And I found out there's a comedy club right next to Fort Hood. So I'm going to go pop my head in there and basically just, scouting, just checking it out, seeing the scene. Tim Warner? Yeah.
I was going to ask you if this had anything to do with him, because I know he's out just doing comedy wherever people sit still long enough and don't look away when he makes eye contact.
Dude, he's been on the road since Election Day, and I've been getting feedback from all over the country. And he's in Texas now, so I might meet up with him. And dude, I just want to get out of New York. I just want to, you know what I'm saying? I just want to stretch my legs, get some fresh air, and see what's out there. Sometimes I think we're in New York too long.
I feel that entirely. And a couple years ago, I did some gigs. I started in Austin. I headlined a brewery. With 25 people at it. Then I stayed with Adam Lucidi. Hit him up. He's got hookups for shows out there.
Lucy, I forgot he's out there. Yes.
Yeah. He lives in Austin, man. Give him a shout out.
Yes. Oh my God, I forgot about Lucidi. Yeah, we did. We did the Improv in Pittsburgh years ago.
Oh, nice. I love Adam. I miss that guy around here, man. He's the one who gave me the nickname Uncle or Dr. Scratch and Sniff from the Animaniacs.
Oh,
go look him up. It's the likeness is uncanny, and it's also a tiny bit hurtful, if I'm being honest.
I'll Google it. I'll check it out. Yeah, see, that's another name. I'm trying to make as many contacts as possible. I got Tim out there. An Army buddy of mine is in Dallas. He knows a comedian, so I'm hitting him up. I met a comedian who's in San Antonio who graduated from my high school. And he's out there. So now you gave me another name, Lucidi. So poking, prodding, whatever is out there, I want to check it out. I want to flex and see what's up. I'm considering moving out there too. So I'm going to, check out the real estate, the job market, and see what's up.
Yeah, I mean, we don't even have to look at the real estate to know that whatever you're paying for rent, you're in Queens, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever you're paying there, you're going to get a fucking palace.
I already saw a house in Central Texas. Very basic, $100,000, 3-bedroom ranch, double garage.
That's a podcasting studio on one half. You got 2 bedrooms for comics that come into town, and you're set.
Yeah. The mortgage would be like $500 a month. It's laughable because we're in New York. We're fucking New York real estate.
I pay $850 and I live with one roommate. I live in Bed-Stuy, which is cool. I live right on Biggie's block. I don't know if you know that. I moved there a couple of years ago. I live 2 doors up from Biggie's childhood home, which is
cool.
Not a big deal to me, but it was cool enough when the guy told me. I was like, yeah, all right, I'm living up the street from Biggie. Biggie doesn't live there anymore, and there's an edible arrangements just around the corner, so it's not quite the same place. But there's not one of those. There's a coffee shop on the corner that's got like oat milk lattes and kale salads. You're like, this isn't Brooklyn, do or die Brooklyn.
I don't think Biggie would approve of a kale salad. Call me crazy.
I'm gonna guess Biggie didn't eat a lot of salads generally, but
yeah.
I've seen our boy.
But the real estate market, I mean, I heard the going rate for a room was $800 to $1,000 for a room, and you're sharing it with maybe 2, 3, 4 other roommates. Absolutely ridiculous. I'm paying
$850 right now. And I've got to wait. We have a 3-bedroom, and he only rents out 1 room, so we've got an extra room for like yoga, working out. Okay. And I've been so lucky during this pandemic, dude. My roommate is amazing. His name is David. We've been together about 2 years, living together, and it's the best roommate situation I could have hoped for because we get along really well. And boy, that matters because my last one was a disgusting pig, and I'd have been doing some pandemic jail time over that dude.
Yeah, I always found it hard with roommates. Like, I mean, I can do my family and I'm a little worried. Like if I go somewhere else, I'm like, what's gonna happen? And yeah, I can't do roommates. I'm very picky. I'm very fucking picky. I like my space. I like my quiet, and I've heard some horror stories, sex scandals, drugs, alcohol.
Dude, I would take all of those over a dirty roommate.
Okay.
I do a bit about this guy on stage. He was so disgusting. He was like a 65-year-old man. And when I first met him, I was like, okay, he's kind of nerdy, maybe on the spectrum somewhere, because he just had some things about him. But I was editing a podcast, and I had my headphones on. I kept hearing this. I was like, fuck, is there a short in my headphones or something? So I'm looking at the wire going all the way to my computer, tracking the wire. And then I pull my headphones off, and I hear behind me, and I look, and it's Kevin sitting on the living room couch, clipping his toenails. And I wasn't even nice about it. I was like, whoa, what the fuck, bro? This is a common space. What are you doing? He's like, why are you so mad, dude? I'm getting all the toenails on the coffee table. That was his response to me, man. What?
And in Kevin's world,
that's okay.
That's okay.
We put coffee on that table, and I don't want toenails in my latte, if you don't mind, you nasty pig.
Kevin's world. Yeah, that I can imagine. I come to think of it, I did have one where I rented a room for a while, and it was, I can't even tell you. I didn't go to any other part of the house other than the room I was in and the bathroom, because it was a disaster. Nobody did nothing, and the bathroom was a horror. Like never touched, never. Like, I mean, I can't tell you, I had to wash my feet from the bathroom to the bathroom, because it was just the flip-flops. Nothing could protect me from that bathroom. It was so grotesque.
I don't know how you did it. When I first moved to that place with that guy, I was looking at the kitchen floor, because the flooring, I was like, God, that's weird. There's like these black it was like art yellow in the middle with tile, but all the corners had this really kind of uniform area where it was completely black, but there was like a circular part. I was like, that had to have been intentional. And I just I pulled the kitchen, I started scrubbing. No, it was dirt. Had been neglected. They just would sweep around and not in the corner.
Right.
And when they got home, they looked at the floor. They're like, whoa, it's clean. I was like, I'm going to kill both of you while you're sleeping, and I'm going to eat your bodies so they don't know you're gone. I don't know what else to do with people like that. I can't I mean, your military part of it, I wasn't military, but I've got that kind of like German, like regimented part of me that's like, clean this shit and clean it now.
In the military, I mean, we were obligated to clean, and we all took turns. So it was never that big of a disaster. We were 2, 3, 4 in a room. It was a cluster. It was a mess. But on the regular, we were cleaning the latrines and everything else in between. But when you're dealing with a roommate, another thing with the roommate situation is, in my case, I moved in because he had a spare room, and there was another roommate there. And when he offered me the room, I was like, cool, no problem. I paid him rent. I mean, he was the one on the lease responsible for the whole apartment, which he did nothing in. And long story short, so I'm there for months, but I had the crazy schedule. I was a bouncer, comedian, never home. I just used it to sleep, right?
Yeah.
And one day I'm coming home in the middle of the night, and this other guy's coming in, and I'm like, oh, hey, how are you? I'm Pudge. I'm upstairs. I got the room. He goes, who are you? He goes, I'm your roommate. He goes, I have a roommate? I'm like, I said, when did you move in? I'm like, I'm like, second floor. I got the first room. I've been there for a couple of months. He gave me the ugliest, dirtiest, he didn't know. He didn't know I've been there. I was there for 2 or 3 months. He did not know. He had no clue, and he was pissed.
Wow.
So the guy in charge never bothered to tell the other guy. And I was like,
dude.
I was like, didn't you notice, the other footprints in the dirty tub that, they weren't yours, they were mine. And
you've suffered through some of the same shit. That's why I say I'm so lucky to be living with this dude. I mean, it doesn't really matter, but he is gay, and I think that break in any possible sexual tension is there. He's a great dude. His boyfriend's awesome.
Yeah.
It's just been an amazing thing. We have taco nights and shit like that. It's like an odd couple kind of situation, and it's great.
I mean, not for nothing, I hope this doesn't sound wrong, but aren't gay men 10 times cleaner than heterosexual men? or gays
Well,
in general. And
generally, yes, but not 10 times cleaner than this one. I think I'm probably the cleaner of the two of us in some ways.
Okay.
And we have good it just balances really well. What he's really good at, I'm not so great. What I'm good at, he's not the best at. So it's been a blessing, man. I don't know that I'm going to be able to have another roommate after this, dude. I'm going to be spoiled.
I say or think that gays would be cleaner because I really never went to a gay bar until I started doing comedy, and then we go to open mics, and I used to go one down in the Village because it was an open mic, so we didn't care. We just go to, and it was a gay bar. But when I went in, I couldn't help but notice it was the most impeccable bar bathroom that I've ever seen. I mean, you can eat off the floor, and this was a bar. You know,
which bar was it in the Village?
Oh my God,
it's not Monster, is it?
No, I forgot the name. I remember on top of the bar, like on the very top, they had these ass mannequins. They're like rotating mannequin asses. It was very cool.
Of course. Why wouldn't you have those?
But I thought it was very cool. It was very well, the decor, the atmosphere, and just the bathroom. I went in there. I didn't want to piss because it was so clean. And I was like, holy shit. This is how
there's one of the cleaner bathrooms in New York is not very well known, and it's the second bathroom in Beauty Bar. When you go in, there's bathrooms in the bar front, and then when you go back to the showroom, there's one immediately to the right. But if you go in that back room and go around that back bar, there's another bathroom back there that's always impeccable. And when I was running the show there, I'd go in there and take Italian showers because I'd be running around in the summer just all sweaty and gross, don't want to go up with a sweaty shirt on stage. So I'd run in there, take a towel, empty my backpack out, wipe down, deodorant up, and then run right back out and set up the show. But I've been wanting to do a coffee table book about bathrooms where you could have sex in New York City bathrooms. I think that'd be fun.
Oh,
and go around and find good bathrooms to bang in, and just I'd need a partner that's willing to do that. I haven't met a lot of women that are like, hey, I want to be your co-writer.
You know what? I was a bouncer, so yeah, there's definitely some lounges, bars, and clubs that it's totally doable, and I know people have done it.
And they're clean? Because I want to rate them. If we're going to do it, we got to rate them. We can't just go fuck in a bathroom. That's weird.
Yeah, no, totally. And speaking of bouncing and beauty bar, so I just found out today, I don't know if you saw it on Instagram, we have a mutual friend. You knew the bouncer at Beauty Bar? Corey.
There was one or two I remember. They were both really nice guys.
Yeah, one of them I work with, Corey.
Okay.
Yeah, and he was like, yo, tell him I said, what's up? I was like, how do you know Troy? He was he told me that he was bouncing at Beauty Bar. I was like, oh, shit, I didn't know this whole fucking time. And
what's up, John Fish? John Fish joined us. Hey, Pete, how you doing, baby?
Yeah, Pete's trying to be funny. Blue Oyster. No, it wasn't a Blue Oyster, Peter. No, stop it. Stop it. That's Peter being funny because I said we did comedy in a freaking gay bar. No, Peter, no. But totally cool.
Imagine comedian, what's up? Imagine we've never met. I'm Troy.
Imagine, holy shit, long time no see, dog. Imagine holding it down in the Bronx. Hey, holler if you got any rooms. I know he was holding it down in the Bronx real good in some rooms. Speaking of which, things are opening up in New York. I just did a mic. I'm running around. I'm kind of excited. I'm going to mics now. Oh my God, just to feel it again, just to stand behind a microphone and there's people. I'm like, holy shit, this is cool. I feel like an open micer again, day one. Yay!
Well, the last time I saw you in person, we were at Dennis Parafan's thing, hanging out at the Queen's Brewery, and then it was right before the second shutdown. And then the second shutdown happened, and I did that show not long ago, the night before the second shutdown. I was there again, and they were doing it inside, and it was still fun. That's a great place. It's just, I'm over the kind of like the Zoom stuff, and because I've done a few live shows recently, and man, I'd rather stand out in 32-degree weather than do a Zoom show.
Don't get me started.
Not that I think they're bad. There's an element that's missing from this that I really desire, and I know that I'm not alone in that.
It doesn't connect. It's just listen, and I say this from the bottom of my heart. If you're a comic and you do Zoom shows and you're good at it and you like it, hey, more power to you. But I don't like it. I suck. The rhythm, there's no, it's just no feel. there's an emptiness. I feel like I'm floating in space, like waiting for something. I you know, it used to be back, when we go on stage, sometimes we hit a joke and we feel it and we move forward. Sometimes we bomb and we adjust on the fly and twist it or save it. But in Zoom, what am I doing?
Yeah, it's no matter how good your connection is, it always feels like there's a 30-second delay for the satellite or something. I've had fun on them. I've had a lot of fun, and I've gotten to do shows in London and Texas, and I did one for I did Colorado. The Rotary Club in New York, and there were people from 13 different countries on it. Where else are you going to get that kind of exposure?
True.
It was fun, and I think it's going to be a thing going forward, but man, I'd really rather bomb for 30 minutes in front of a live crowd than crush for 10 on a Zoom show. And the way I've been describing it, and maybe John Fish can voice it in here. I just think it's like sex through a sheet. It's like a plastic sheet. You got a hole for it, so it's kind of sex, but you don't really touch, and the human connection is lost. You still get off, but you miss the intimacy of it. And I realize how much I like that. Not just that though. My comic friends, one of the clubs in the Village is starting to do shows, the Pair.
Yeah.
And I was up the other night, and it was, there was 12 people in the crowd. They were great. We're trying new stuff because what the hell else are you going to do?
Right.
I mean, they were appreciative. It was good to see the comics, just to see them in person. People, some people that I'm like usually wouldn't be like, hey, I'm glad to see you. I would just be like, hey, how are you? Yeah. I'm genuinely happy to see these people. I'm like, I'm glad you are back in my vision and my life, and I can touch you. I don't like you, but I'm glad I can hug you.
It's funny. It's like, I think there's whatever tension or beef or any hostility there was before the pandemic kind of cooled it down, and everybody's friends again for the most part. You know what I'm saying? It's like we're all happy to see each other. And we're all embracing and like, holy shit. And I just did an open mic on the rooftop, freezing but happy just to be behind the mic. And like you said it, you'd rather bomb. Yeah, because we can actually have fun bombing. You can actually learn from bombing. It's gonna, you're gonna get something out of it from bombing in front of a live audience. But in Zoom, it's like you don't know. You don't know. You got the people they have their thing on.
The mic is muted. Yeah.
And then every show is different. Okay, guys, the show's about to start. Turn off your sound. No, we need to hear laughter.
Yeah, I don't understand the producers that are doing that. I was doing some stuff for the Nowhere Comedy Club with Hofstetter, and they had done it right. They've got, all right, you get your earbuds in when you're performing so you can hear the crowd. They tell them to unmute, and they mute people who they identify as having too much noise coming through. And I think that's the way you do it. Because if you start everybody muted, I did an IG live show early into the pandemic, and I just did one. I was like, I'll never do that again. This format makes sense to me.
Yes.
Because we're talking back and forth. But a show was just you performing to your own image, which is the last thing you want to perform to. I can do that in the mirror.
Here's what irked me that I found out. We lost, because of Zoom, at least this is my feeling, we lost our green room personal time. That little moment, when we're in the green room and we're in the crowd doesn't see us till it's time to go on in the show.
Yeah.
When we're in the green room, we're either in our own head, maybe going over stuff, maybe focused, maybe we're talking to each other, comic to comic, because it's a comfort zone, so it's not a problem. But we're in some kind of zone, feeling, atmosphere that's comfortable before we go on. With the Zoom, as soon as I'm on, I'm here, I'm there, and I'm like, and it's like everyone's watching me, and I'm waiting for the show to start. They're waiting for the show to start, and I start going into my head. And one lady was like, Pudge, why are you mad? I'm like, huh? What? They're like, I'm not mad. She's like, you look grumpy or something. I'm like, ugh. I'm like, you know what? It's like, I'm not, where
well, it's resting New Yorker face too.
Because I'm just, I'm not in the, in the green room. You can be what you want to be. We can talk shop, focus, listen to music, go over our notes, make sure you get that new, and
shit on the audience if we want to. Shit on people we saw going in, just for fun.
Yeah, we can talk shit, and then when we go on, we're on. But when we're off, and we have that moment. But in Zoom, it's like as soon as I turn on, it's like there. I'm okay. Everyone's watching me, and I'm audience. I'm not. You know, it's and then I got to sit there. And if there's a bunch of comedians, I'm like, you know, don't.
Yeah.
You know, it's just so awkward, weird.
It raises awkward to the next power in terms of like interactions. I just want to take quick. Hey, Johnny Barron, how you doing? You know Johnny, right?
Johnny, he's a Queens guy, of course.
Yeah, he runs that show in Glendale.
Guy.
Yeah, that show, that little room in Glendale where you go down and perform comedy for the same Italian family that interrupts you. I love that show. Every time I've done that room, I've had fun. Even when they were a disaster for a crowd, they were fun. Because sometimes it's like it's family style Italian dinner. It feels like, and boy, they don't mind treating it like it's their own show.
Good point. As far as what we're saying. That show, tight room, great space. You can feel them.
Yeah, and always good energy, always.
And they're locals. So the show can go in any direction. They're going to chime in. They're going to chop you. They're going to maybe a little heckle. But it's fun. The atmosphere is fun. They come with the positive energy. And you can go here. You can go there. You can jab. You can play with them. You can crowd work them. And, you know, you don't know what can happen. But it's going to, you have fun. And you come out with something.
You absolutely can. It's
not with Zoom. Not with Zoom.
Yeah, that crew on a Zoom show would just devolve into the internet would crash.
Now, the thing you were saying about Zoom in the future, where I think Zoom will come in handy, would be really cool, and maybe the clubs will jump on it. Maybe some already did. If we start doing live shows in the comedy clubs, and they're also broadcasting it through Zoom.
Yeah, so I mean, well, that's what Gotham's live is. The VR show blasts out over the internet, and people with VR headsets can be like they're in the room. And now it can just be done on Zoom. Like, hey, chime in. This is New York City comedy, and now you're not reaching 280 people in Gotham's main room. You're reaching 2.5 million people all over. Well, that's probably not ever true, but
and a great option. You want to go out on a date, take out a girl. Hey, you pay the cover, 2-drink minimum. You're in the crowd. You're live, or maybe you're sick. You're at home, or you just want to do a family night from the couch. You watch the live show, and the comedian you're watching is in the vibe because it's like the win-win. The comedian is on stage with the live crowd, so he's got his momentum's going, and he's going to do fine. And then the people at home can just relax and just watch like a TV.
It's a little bit like, I always say in Gotham, that back row in the main room is something. If they're too far back, it's like they're far back that they're watching the show happening on the stage. And that's basically what people in the VR are doing. They're watching the show, not part of it, but watching it as the comic interacts with the crowd. And I think that's going to be good going forward. And no venue can't do that.
Right.
Because the technology necessary to do it isn't going to be expensive. No. I mean, you just throw up a fucking HD camera, hook it to a live, and bam, you've got it. So the Grizzly Pear can start doing live shows.
Yeah, I mean,
and that's of course that's not going to be good if there's some nights on the Beauty Bar show that you wouldn't have wanted that to be live streamed.
Yeah, and think about the budget. I mean, they're going to make the 2 drinks, the cover, and then you got like a little $10 flat fee for your house, and as many people can watch. You know what I'm saying? So it's like there's a lot of income, and that's great for the clubs. It's going to be, hopefully it'll trickle down to the comics, but definitely a big plus.
Don't do that. Don't get all crazy about it.
Well,
we're going to pay the comics more.
I'm just saying. I'm just thinking positive.
Putting it out there like, hey, clubs, pay us more. I'm happy when they pay me at all. I'm not complaining about pay. I'm complaining about stage time right now.
Yeah, I know. It's been slim pickings, but hey, New York's gonna open up. April's the big bang. I've been trying to look for a spot to produce again in Queens. Been driving around visiting some spots. There seems to be some I don't know, because it's like on the news. As a blanket statement, they're telling everybody, yeah, we're going to roll 25%, we're going to roll 33%. But then when I'm running around Queens, they're still talking about colors. Oh, we're in the yellow, we're in the orange, or we're in the red. They're hot zone, the COVID hot zones. Like Staten Island. So
Staten Island and Queens have been terrible about compliance with the mask. I mean, basically, New York got shut down again because of the Queens crowd, the fucking Astoria crowd just going ape shit.
Actually, I know I know the bar that they held responsible. A friend of mine who's the manager.
I'm losing you. I'm losing you, Pudge. You're
check 1 2
on a
1
second.
2. Check 1 2.
I got sound. It's just videos giving me the circle. The woo.
I got it. Yeah, I get it. I totally get it. Can you hear me though? Check 1 2 1 2 1 2. This is the technology part.
Aaron Kaplan in the house. What's up, Aaron?
This is the technology part that I don't like.
No, it's cutting out.
Damn, now it's funny. Usually it's the other way around. Usually I can see perfectly, and it's the other person cutting out. Now it's me.
Yeah.
Is it? Can you hear me now?
Yep, that's better. I'm still not getting great visual, and your audio is a little choppy, but.
All right. Yeah, it happens. Welcome to Instagram.
Yeah.
It's the Wi-Fi. It's, that's why this is my last season. I'm getting tired of this. Hopefully I'm going to roll into a podcast and better.
Yeah, that's what you were saying. That's easy, man. Get yourself that 2-car garage, cordon off half of it, throw yourself up a Mark Maron setup, and you're good. And get Obama in your house.
Yeah. Let's see what happens. I have a couple of ideas, some small shorts, small short segments and podcast segments, longer segments. Let's see. I'm just, I've been spending the whole quarantine, the whole pandemic, getting equipment, getting my fucking website up, got my fucking YouTube channel up,
nice,
making these videos. So I've been staying busy, and it's great the way everybody, kind of adapted. It's like the stage got taken away from us, and everybody just adapted and overcame and evolved in different ways. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. I mean, that's just a tribute that we're artists, and I find that very cool. We can't be held back.
Yeah, it really is kind of nice. I've appreciated the sort of look, we're going to do this no matter what, to a certain degree. I mean, I've been at a few shows where like, well, this isn't worth it. But I've been doing shows at Joey Bat's quite a bit. It's cold as shit outside, but they've got a little like not enclosed area, but heated seating area. So when you're on stage, it's fine. Sit off stage, just get by a heater. You're going to be fine. Joey Bat's has great food, and it's been a great workout room.
Yeah, I just found him. I was there about a week ago. I'm already booked for April. I gotta find a couple of other producers to link up with, and I don't know, audition or see whatever. But you know the game. Send an email, send a Facebook message that you see has been read, and nobody responds, and that gets in your brain. It sits there, and then you see them in public. You're like, do they hate me? Should I kill this person right now? And then they go, hey, I got your message. I'll get back to you. And you're like, oh, I was building that up in my head for no reason. Yeah. Is it me? Am I funny? Am I not funny? Am I fat? I'm like, oh my God. So I'm having fun. I'm making my rounds. I'm poking my head. I already poked my head at the Pear. I was happy to hang out and watch. And I found Joey Bat's. And today I was at the Tiny Cupboard. And
you've been there? Yeah, I've been up there twice, I think. Man, that place is just fun, and the people who own it are doing a pretty good job of managing it, I think. They're found themselves unwittingly in the middle of an explosion for their business that they couldn't see coming, and it's good for them.
When I went there for the what was it, a year ago? It was just all they had was that little room in that little building. They had that bedroom kind of comedy show in there, and it went from there. Yes, they exploded. Now they got the room, they got the downstairs that looks like a church. It's fucking cool. They got the rooftop, and now they're gonna have a comedy festival that I already submitted for. They're gonna have some comedy festival shows in the summer. Yep. So holy shit, they are rolling. They are rolling. They're
doing a great job. I'm glad for them, and I like the location because it's not too far away from where I live. I mean, I can be there in 20 minutes. 5 stops on the sea from my place to Rockaway and hop out, and it's good.
Now, they're booming. What's your opinion as far as the New York scene, rolling out of this pandemic? Are we going to go back to what we were before? Is there going to be a nosedive? Some places closed down. The Creek is gone.
The Creek is gone. Dangerfield's closed up. There's been rumors about one of the bigger 3 shutting down. And I don't know how true they are, but I've heard them from several places.
I heard a rumor about another one, an old school one that's going to close.
That would be here's what I think for a guy in my level. I've got, a Fox Laughs credit for a meme. I've got Edinburgh Fringe, and I'm winning some, script writing competitions during the pandemic. Right. Okay, great. People didn't care about that shit before.
Yeah.
And it's not going to matter much now. I feel good about it. But guys like you and me, like strong features, we can headline a brewery or a B room.
A C bar. I'm a C headliner. That's a bar headliner. I'm a C level.
A Chedliner.
Yeah, that's what exactly. Yes, that's what we are.
And I'm not ashamed of that. I'm not hating on myself, but I think that we're underestimating the hangover psychologically from the pandemic for the next 2 years. I think it's going to be okay on the ground for the most part, but big picture, I think it's going to be slower getting back to revenues and getting, and I think it's going to be a lot of, hey, we can't pay you anymore kind of shit. They're going to use this as an excuse. Like my grocery store suddenly started charging for bags during the pandemic.
Yeah,
I think we're going to see shit like that in the comedy business because, you really haven't had a raise in pay since the 80s for features. And I think this is going to be a good reason for them to say, hey, we're using local features so we can pay less. So the Dan Soders and the Chris D's of the world don't get to take their own features on the road. I think it's going to change some things like that, and spots in the city are going to be harder to come by because it's going to be the Chris D's and the Cellar crew out looking for stage time.
That was one of the theories. Like all the upper echeloners who can't do theaters or large venues are going to come back down to the comedy clubs, and that's going to be a push down, and we're gonna get lower and lower. We're going to be back down. We're going to be doing check spots. We're doing
man. It's back to hosting. Back to hosting full time just for the money. It's I don't know. Americans are resilient, but I see people, friends of mine who are still afraid to leave. I know one comic, and I won't mention his name. He hasn't left his house since the pandemic started, really. I mean, maybe once or twice, but he stays in. You go over to see him. He's like, yeah, leave it at my front door, man. I don't want to. And it's like that's for every person like that. There's lots more out there.
I've heard.
I've been careful in it. I'm not paranoid. I think I may have had it at the beginning of the pandemic, like in January before we knew what it was. But I just haven't been all that worried. I've been taking my precautions and being smart.
Yeah.
But I think a larger percentage of the population is going to walk into a room of 300 people and go, and then walk right back out. Bless you.
Thank
you. See, got the COVID.
I think New York might be slow. That's why a lot of people attempted, and I've already heard through my Texas contacts, everyone's moving to Austin. It's like Joe Rogan started it. With moving down there, and and Chappelle's there, and Creek in the Cave is moving.
Chappelle moved to Texas?
No, he didn't move there, but he's been working out of Austin with Joe Rogan. Okay. So he's been there a lot. He's basically, Joe Rogan planted the flag, and Chappelle's helping him wave it, and everyone's flocking to Austin. And I heard a rumor about another major comedy club possibly moving to Austin. A very big, not out of New York, out of L.A. That's as far as I go because it's just a rumor, but it ranks up there with the Cellar.
Well, and I would imagine if that's happening, Joe Rogan's going to have his fingers in it in some way.
Yeah, that's the one. That's the one.
Yeah,
that's the
one. He's going to have a little investment in that because Rogan's doing okay financially. I think. I don't think he has to. He has to do check spots.
Which is hilarious because I was in Austin, Texas in the 90s. That's where I used to party and shit with the soldiers, and we went and got hammered. And Austin has blown up over the last decade at least, and population and booming, and now it's this comedy thing. I mean, Rogan is going to open up a club. Cap City closed, but they're going to reopen. Okay. Creek in the Cave is moving. They open April 1st. And then this other club that I'm hearing might go there. It's like, holy shit. I wonder if they're going to beat out New York because another thing, the regulations is done. I think tomorrow, no more masks.
But I think that's gonna backfire on all of Texas. I think they're going to be shutting down again soon because I don't know how you open up entirely. I mean, let's be as open as we can, but be as smart as we can. And the conflict in that is if we open entirely, that's just going to invite reckless people to do stupid shit without any consequences. I don't know how to. I'm not a virologist. I don't understand pandemics. Yeah. I'm just trying not to be part of the problem here. True. And I don't know. I don't know how Texas. Well, let's see if Texas weathers it. Maybe it works out. I don't know. But all like 16 Republican-led states are dropping their mask mandates, and they're continuing to make this a partisan thing, and it baffles me. It truly does.
It's scary. You know what? And this is why, like, I've been planning the trip for a while, but now that I'm going, I made sure I got my shot. So I got my first shot already.
Oh, did you? Nice.
Yeah. For the VA, because I'm a veteran, and they started with the 65 and olders, and now they're down to the 40s. So I'm in there. I get my third shot in 3 weeks, and then
third shot.
A second shot. Sorry.
Okay.
Second shot,
what vaccine are you working on over there?
That's the other one. That's the wrong one.
I'm going to see you. You're going to have like a hand out of your face. The third shot wasn't necessary, bro.
I got vaccinated. I'm okay. But yeah, I'm getting vaccinated. That's why I feel a little more comfortable going down there. Yeah. And again, we had Tim Warner's down there, and he's like, everything's cool, everything's gravy, everything. He's been to several states, not just Texas.
No, that's Tim Warner, though, man. I don't think that guy believes the virus exists.
I think he's had so much in the system in the past. I think he's good for anything. I think
Keith Richards' system wouldn't tolerate this virus, not for a second.
That's where he is. He's got the Keith Richards system.
Yeah.
God bless him. He's clean, he's sober, and he's doing his thing. And it's a Cinderella story, and I'm so happy for him. So, but yeah,
I saw him. I was delivering. I started making pot edibles. Yeah, you saw me at the show. I was selling them when I saw you. Yes. And I was making a delivery, and I saw Tim on the street, and I just stopped and talked to him for a short while, and it was nice to see him because I genuinely like the guy. But he's out there crushing, doing his thing, man. I got to give him credit for that because he's building his own thing, and I swear to God, we laugh at people who do that.
No,
it's easy to shit on someone for like their crowd because there's a guy that's in New York. He's got his own crowd, and he'll headline Gotham. And his first 15 minutes is like, "Hey, Johnny, how you doing? Tina, how's the family?" Just the whole thing. And then he goes into some, B-grade backwater material. But he fills the room. They love him, and they're his crowd.
Yeah.
And I can't think, Doug Stanhope does it on a different level, but that's the Shangri-La, man. Once you've got your crowd, who cares if you're huge? You got your people. You're selling your records. You got a full room when you go to perform. I don't know how that gets better.
That's what I got to keep reminding myself because this roller coaster emotional trap that comedy is. I almost don't wish it on my worst enemy. It's such a roller coaster because we can be in the high as can be, and just feeling awesome, getting off a stage, 30-minute set, 300 people, and next thing you know, you're bombing in a bar, and you're asking yourself, why am I doing this? Why am I at an open mic? I just did an open mic. I was number 14, and I only got 4 minutes. What the fuck? And it's and you need to remind yourself, you know what? It's about, find yourself, find your niche, and find your crowd, and find your followers. And that's one of the reasons why I want to leave New York, because maybe I want to do more exploring. Maybe there's more people to connect. Tim Warner's been doing that. I'm jealous. He's going around the country living out of his car. I think that's every comedian. It should be every comedian's dream. It's not. He's not the first. I mean, from Gary Shandling to Tiffany Haddish, it feels like it's part of our program. It's part of our growth. We got to do that. So I'm excited to give it a shot for a couple of weeks and see what happens because I want to meet the people.
Yeah, I think you should. When I went through the South, I was a little worried because it was middle of the Trump thing. And I was like, okay, I'm not a political comic. I'm political on Facebook because I'm a human being, but I'm not political on stage because I know my limits and I get genuinely angry about some things. And nobody wants to see a 6'3" bald German get pissed off with a microphone. I get that. I understand. But when I went down, it becomes about the art form and making people laugh and meeting them on that level. I can leave everything else behind. Personally, if you're a close friend of mine and you're really into Trump, we're going to have problems. But a stranger on the street that I'm just there to perform for, that is the definition of our relationship to me. And I did Austin, more conservative group, but they were fun. Then I went to Kiln, Mississippi. I drove 9.5 hours, got out of the car. A half hour later, I was on stage, did a half hour, got back in the car, drove 2 more hours to the next hotel, which was in Pensacola, Florida. And it was such a bad place that there were people that had been there so long, they had their own lawn furniture out up front of the hotel.
Wow.
It was like, wow. I talked to the booker. I said, this is cool for me. I'm a 6'3" dude. That's 220 pounds. I'm okay. Don't send timid or female comics here at all, because this is a murder hotel.
Yeah.
But when I saw the crowds, I was just talking to him after that. I was just like, all right, this is what I like right here. We laughed, we talked about it, I moved on, and we connected in a way that maybe we wouldn't connect deeper, but we didn't need to. It was just that moment. We had an interaction. They laughed. I did my thing. I went on. And that's what's beautiful about those interactions. You realize that we still have that capacity to connect on those facets. We put those things together.
Yeah, the basic principle of going to a comedy club and being a comedian or an audience is, as a comedian, our job is to, hey, take them away. Take them away from their life. Take them away from distractions. Take them away from their headache. Take them away from their pain. Take them on a ride. And give them a good time. So this whole political thing, it's very dicey nowadays on stage. But if it's such a headache, regardless of what side you're on, it's a fucking headache on the outside. Here they're coming to get away and enjoy some time. And why are you going to bring it back to them? And now, half the crowd is one side, half the crowd is another. And now you're creating this tension. I'm like, take them somewhere else. It's like a little spiritual mind vacation when you go to a comedy club. That's what they're going for. Don't.
Yeah.
And you see these comedians who've kind of adapted to the extreme left and right, and they're like planting their flags, and that's where they're moving forward on stage. So I'm like, I don't know. I feel like, you might score big right now, but what happens when it's over? You're painting yourself in a corner as a comedian, unless that's what you're going to be for the rest of your comedy career.
Yeah, I know some people. It's just not off stage. I'm absolutely extreme left, probably. Mm-hmm. On stage, I just don't want to be there. For the reasons you've talked about, but also it's just not healthy for me. I just want to find a way to relate to people.
And at the end of the day, we got to find our fans, and like we said, our niche, our following. And why do we want to get rid of half the country because we make a political statement when we can be generally our funny selves and talk about our lives and get as many people as possible? At the end of the day, it's about asses and seats, like you said.
Yeah.
So let's talk about our life. There's 9,900 ways to connect. You don't need politics. You know what I'm saying? You can get people from both sides.
And I got something hit me pretty hard. I was in the city, and it was pretty early into Trump's presidency, and I was as angry as anybody about it. I hate that guy with white hot intensity. But I was watching a comic on stage at Gotham. She was killing, but she was just going in on him. And 5 minutes into it, I was exhausted by my own hate for the dude.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? I'll make an ad hoc, an ad hominem attack every once in a while, some sideways comment. But when I was watching her, I was like, I'm exhausted from what I feel right now. So I'm going to leave the political comedy to the people who do it full time. Stewart, Daily Show, Samantha Bee. They've got rooms of 9 writers, some of which we know that do a great job at it. Unless I have a unique angle, I try to joke early on about, I know you guys, I know you conservatives are disappointed because, when Obama got elected, we were sad that, corporations were still people because he didn't mess that up. And you guys are still sad that, women and minorities are still people. And I thought that was kind of a mild entry into it. And the rest of the set was hoorah, hoorah.
No, I had the same thing. I did Rockwell's, and I used to, not that I had political humor, but I had like 3 or 4 minutes of this very fluffy political that I've had for maybe a decade. I keep it in my back pocket when there's an election so I can open up with it or close with it. Very soft. Okay, I'm talking, I'm not a left wing, I'm not a right wing, I'm a Buffalo wing. Boom, little quirky shit. And it's so fluff, it's so soft, and I've done it for years. And now, because of this past election or the one before it, it totally split the room. I had a heckler from the left, then I had the table from the right, and I'm there, the owner's watching, and I'm on stage, and I'm like, what the fuck? And it just totally lost. So yeah, so I'm like, okay.
Once you lose that room, you've lost them. I watched a comic there who's a good comic. He lost him early with a joke that I'm sure he regrets, and his entire feature set was gone. It was savage.
And it pissed me off because mine wasn't politically jabbing anybody. It wasn't that hard left or right. It was just fluff. It was just, but I never even got to finish it. I never got to finish it. The minute I opened it, they better not be about, and then here come the fucking chimers and the hecklers. And I'm like, whoa, I didn't even finish I didn't even get into it. What the fuck? And it was like, it was a disaster. So weird times. Let's see, hopefully going forward, if things will smooth out with the country and the political vibe, and who knows?
I hope so, because I have to admit to having internalized a lot of this, because a lot of this election, his existence was very personal to me for reasons that are not fun to get into, but I can't wait to get back to a place where I can see that hat and not immediately think somebody give me a crowbar and a plastic bag, because I hate that motherfucker. Man, I'm still baffled, and like you said, there's his base, and then there's people who voted the ticket, who voted the party, and they need to be separated because they are different kinds of people. His base, I'm unapologetically disgusted by. I don't have any tolerance for the base that protects him, and I get just as irritated with some people on the left who do dumb shit like try to cancel Pepe Le Pew. Exactly. Although I will say, on the spectrum, insurrection, canceling Pepe Le Pew, one's damaging, the other one's annoying. So let's just move on. But
exactly, give me an old-fashioned Democrat, Republican, and let's shoot to shit. You know what I'm saying? It's like not that extreme. I can't do it. So I'm
excited about your Texas trip, man. I think that's entirely good for you.
Yeah, thank you. Let's see what happens.
Nothing bad comes out of that. You go to one of the burgeoning scenes, and you're not far from Denver and Austin, and Denver scene is fucking hot.
There's another comic from New York, Michael O'Rourke, who's out there in Colorado. So
O'Rourke's in Colorado?
Yeah,
the shady lady O'Rourke.
I spoke to his girlfriend, and she said he moved. He's down there and he's ripping it up. He's got several rooms. You know how New Yorkers do? They go over there and they take over like the mafia, and he's got shit going. So I'm gonna hit him up and see what's going on. Just
Monica Vita's out there too.
Really?
Monica Vita's in Denver. Hit her up.
Yeah. Mo V. Yeah.
She's got I think she's got a few. She's got one or two shows, but she also has the hookups for other ones.
Yeah. Maybe it's a good time to just take a stroll around the country and visit all our New York-based comedians and
go out to the diaspora. It's the comedian diaspora.
Dustin Chafin is moving to LA.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Is Leah going with him?
I didn't ask. It was via text because I saw he's gonna be in Texas when I was planning to be there. So I was like, oh shit, maybe I'll bump into you in Dallas, whatnot. And he's like, yeah, I'm moving because he announced he's not managing Greenwich anymore. So and then he told me he's moving to LA. So I was like, oh shit, so that's why. So So a lot of New York comics, breaking ground in other cities. We should have like a stepping stone of New York comics across the country.
just get a map up and put pins there. I think that now that you said that, there is some chance that New York loses its position as the center of gravity.
Tim swears the South is going to pop. Florida's popping. Another comic, Mark Vieira, moved to Florida. Mark Vieira's a beast. He moved to Florida.
Vieira moved to Florida. All right.
He's in Florida. I mean, Dustin in L.A. O'Rourke,
Kyle Brooms has been in Florida for years.
Right. So and he swears Nashville is going to blow up. Nashville is popping. Tampa is popping. Austin and Dallas are coming. It's like the South, I think. And Atlanta. Everyone's murmuring about Atlanta because Hollywood. There's a big Hollywood scene because since Tyler Perry moved down there, there's a lot of acting, commercials. So there's
Well,
a
and
mini.
the Laughing Skull is down there, and that's been a good festival for years.
So Tim swears the South is where it's going to be. So let's see what happens. Exciting times in the comedy scene for us.
I wonder if what Tim is seeing is somewhat an anomaly, though, only in that it's places that don't really follow the CDC guidelines where people can go to shows. So when they do and comics are there, it's like a real crowd versus us in like lockdown places where I did Eastville. Everybody was 6 feet apart, and it just felt sad. Like, God,
wow.
Every masks on, and we still had a good show. It was fun, but it's just there's this like this stilted nature to it because it always feels like there's this tentativeness. Like, I can't. I don't want to touch the mic. I don't breathe this way. We gotta let go of that.
Let's see what happens. You know what? We're in a whole new era. Yeah. Things have been turned upside down, inside out. It's going to be like, the pandemic. We're going through the pandemic. We're coming out of it. So now let's see what this next year looks like for us. Exciting, thrilling, and I got to be honest, it's going to be fucking scary.
It's terrifying. Yeah, I've never felt fear for my future like I do right now. Like because what the fuck am I doing?
If it wasn't hard enough already, if my family, my family already disowned me for this shit. Okay. Now it's got worse. Now it's gonna be. Oh really? I'm like, it's a pandemic. Come on. It's.
My family's like, what are you doing? I'm like, well, I'm making weed edibles. They're like, okay, great. So you went from a job where you didn't make much money to a job where you're going to go to jail. I'm like, oh, whatever.
Depends on the state.
Yeah. And they're tasty, so who cares?
They're delicious. Troy Allen, thank you. We're on the clock. IG's going to give me the lights. There's a time limit.
All right, brother.
Time flies when you're having fun. Holy fucking shit.
Yeah,
man.
It's been too long, man. I was glad to see you at Danis's thing, but we didn't get a chance to talk. So I'm really excited about your Texas stuff. Let me know when you're leaving. You might find me in your trunk.
Hey, there's room. There's room. But we'll bump into each other. When are you coming back to New York? When you drive back?
We're going to be back Thursday night. I got to return the rental car, and then I might go to Joey Batch that night. I was booked to work on the 6th, but I think I'm going to just try to make it down for the 8th.
All right. Hit me up. Oh, shit. We're about to get cut off. Hit me up. I'll meet you over
I'll
there.
hit you up.
I would love to hang. Just fucking feel it.
I hear you, Pete. All right, brother.
All right, man. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Pudge. Take care, man.
All right. Be good.